Ended the year show 2009. It's a visit with a person of high strangeness. A lot of things happened in 2009. All 3 books were put online, and the moral of the story is one person at a time. Remembering your future. You see this one say remembering. Oh, it is spelled correctly. One of them is wrong. Well, anyway, this is the second one, remembering your future. And that is the second one. And finally, the Big P, a collection of short stories and newsletters. That's just what it is. It finally got done and is now on the website for free download. The Human of the Year award was awarded to George Eliot. We have a really long insert today, but you'll recognize George when you see him. And thanks for being our friend, George. The reason George was selected is because of his work he does with PTSD veterans throughout the year. When George came and brought me my award, actually for the for all the work I did over the last 12 years, his award wasn't ready, or else we would just exchange it. But isn't it wonderful? I finally got the acknowledged, and this is my award that George made it for me, and so I wanted to thank him for it. We have a really long, really long insert for you today, and so what happens is I can only say a few things to you here. 2009, we had a lot of funerals, but it's just too many to go right down the line. So we wish everybody that left this year a good journey. And all in all, 9 was a little more relaxed than 8 was in some ways. In some ways it wasn't. I was not able to go on a trip due to some physical challenges, and but we put a lot of things together for you from over the years that we were able to replay for you. And so wait till you see that insert. It is really long, but it's very enjoyable. At least I think so. And again, we didn't have a whole lot of people helping us this year. Actually, it was Mike Johns and myself, and Mike is actually working the camera for me here today. And thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and a lot of people wasn't very happy with the political scene. Some of us were, but then this is a democracy, and you can kind of go from being unhappy or happy, but it's remember, it's the final outcome that really counts. And so we couldn't do the predictions with Kana Shibushan this year because she had a series of strokes, heart surgery, and her house burned down. So Catherine Grandfield came, and that played last week, and we're gonna be air that. So we have to thank all the people that came through here, and it was just a really interesting year, if you ask me. We put a lot of shows online. I think there's about 11. By the time you see this, there's a good possibility there'll be 17, and we load them just as soon as we can, and as many as we can, because unfortunately I have to pay the gentleman that does that, and I don't have enough brains to do it myself. So that's where we are with that. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the insert so you can get a general idea what I'm talking about. You will, like I said earlier, you will spot Coyote in that insert, and so you enjoy, and I see you in just a little bit, okay? This is Heidi explaining her Shona art to you. Yeah, good. Here's some of it, some of the pieces. And she was real gracious with her tour of her collection from the young people that make this in Zimbabwe. And so we were able to share. This is a mermaid. Didn't know what it was, but she said it was a mermaid, I guess. We'll take her word for it. And she also shared her garden with us. And right off the Yum Highway. This is Lake Stevens, up north. Mike Johns was the gentleman that took us there. And they had shown us pictures with a glare, so we had to redo the whole thing. The music you hear, this is the Lake Stevens show with Mike Johns. He helped with some things, and Beth Quist entertaining us here. The music for this insert was prepared for us by and created by T. Brain Jr., Dr. Lee Lorenzen with the water clusters. He was a sponsor for us in 2002. Dr. Lee has since then left us. And I don't remember the year he died, but he's not there. This is Felicity, California. There had been requests to give more details on the little town. Ooh, and then a friend went to Monterey to the aquarium and showed us some of the sea creatures that live there. Yeah, 2009 was a busy year. You know, look at the seahorses, aren't they wonderful? We so appreciate it, especially that clip because it was so clear. It is really, really clear. And here I'm explaining something. We aired the Mount St. Helens shows. This was filmed in two time periods. This was within 2 years apart. One was in winter time, one was in the summertime. And we just turned it into something beautiful for you here. This was Rhythm Fest a few years ago, and we improvised, and Clarence Moore let us use this footage. And so we revisited some of those things for you. We went a lot of places in 2009. Boy, she know how to beat that drum there. Yeah. We always have a good time in Olympia regardless of what we do. Rain, shine, sun shining or rain, it doesn't much matter to us. This is from the movie Orbs, an award-winning movie. Justin Wright and I were judges in an international film festival. And the Orb show was one that won, and they were gracious enough to let us use that and share that award-winning footage with you. In the meantime, we took a lot of orb photos ourselves. Pretty cool, huh? That's an orb. Not a water cluster, but they look so similar there. Mount Adams, James Gilliland. He has a resort there. All this was filmed on his premise. On his premises. That's the right word here. In some waves and ocean shores. Beautiful. Look at the hair. Spook Lights of Joplin, Missouri. We aired that show. This is available on my MySpace. Sigeria, Tony Beeson in Springfield, Missouri, with a broadcast on Bob White's UFO object. This is Dr. Gilbert Jordan explaining some things. Dr. Gibbons again talking about the spook lights. And here are what was thought to be one spook light, and it turned out we had 7. And that was historical footage that was examined by scientists, and they were able to hook the spook lights to the GPS system. That show is also available on my MySpace. Yeah. Singing to the Ancestors. That was Moya Koshimbi from Moya Soleil. We aired part of that concert that they gave. Beautiful lady from Zambia. There she is dancing. Just beautiful woman. We had a lot of things in common, and we did an interview, and it was still informative. Oh, just kicked the microphone. She's just having a good time. This is from Dachau. We showed you Dachau again. President Obama had went to Buchenwald, a concentration camp, and some people couldn't comprehend what it was that had moved him so. And so we revisited the show Dachau. Claudia Kramer had went there and filmed it, and that was somewhat graphic here. The chambers, the gas chambers, and a lot of death in that place. Put that in slow motion. That's where the gas was filtered into the showers, where people thought they were taking a shower when in reality it was gas. Yeah. It was important we aired that, and these are the crematoriums, and it had really shook up our president. You hardly ever see him emotional, and that was one. And when he visited the place where they held the slaves before they shipped them into the New World. Let's see then, this would be from Bang Bang, You Still Dead, the rainforest, and we gave you an update on what happened to some of these beautiful trees. Our beautiful rainforest from Washington State. And here, that's why the name of the show was Bang Bang You Dead. Just cutting down everything. And this, by the way, never got replanted. It's on the Guanucci Road. For your information, jury duty, Tom Stahl and Patricia Michael, we re-educated you about what you can do and what you cannot do while on jury duty. This show is also on MySpace, Sigeria, for your viewing. Alien on my head. Prisons for Profit. That was a continuation of the jury duty show, where we discuss what happens to the people after a jury renders a verdict. 2009, there was talk of prison reform, so that became important again, and so we chose to re-air that for you. lightning on our head. It was a powerful show. Yeah. Changed hair a lot. 2009. There you go. So, we had a follow-up on the garden show. I can't bend down anymore, so they came and built a garden high enough for me to actually do something with. And we were all set and everything, and half the show was erased because the tape was stuck. So that had never happened before, so we improvised a lot. But they were just wonderful. And here you wanted to see the paintings I put on my house again, so here you go. It was a lot cleaner in previous shows, but we had a harsh winter and everything was dirty. But there you go. Big tree in the back of my house that wants to come and live inside, so I can't open the window. Yeah. Lots of pigs every year. The little girl, she took a lot of slugs home with her. She was just fascinated, all the creatures that she found out there. It's from the community garden project. These are the people that built my beautiful garden. Yeah. And it rained. Of course, it always rains. This is on Highway 12 in Rochester. This is a permanent location where you can buy beautiful blankets. It was a windy day. Just beautiful. And if you're telling you saw it on TV, they always open for stories and things. Wonderful people. And a rubber tree. We couldn't find any live plants anywhere. So we went to Safeway and they were able, they let us film some of their cut flowers. And that's where those brilliant colors come from, because they were none anywhere within a 100-mile radius. That's my favorite here. We talked about the upset chicken manure and steer manure. Here's George. Coyote is telling the story of creation according to the Sioux. That's one of your favorites. Tamara Wells singing her heart out. She was a favorite over the years, so we decided to put her back into the picture. Beautiful voice. Well, she's also my granddaughter. I might want to add that. This is George LeHue singing some songs for you. We tried to work some of the music back into what we were doing, because I think we have 7 hours, straight hours of music that we need to park somewhere. Mike Johns and Carrie Houston on the show Drop-Ins. Oh yeah, that's this is a private airstrip on the other side of Centralia. I was invited and took some pictures there. This is a motorized parachute, they told me. So I'm not sure if that's really what it is or if they just told me that, but I was fascinated by it. They had a barbecue and everybody on the airplane just came and flew in and ate and flew out. Gold's Gym in Granite Falls. This is a car show in Lake Stevens. Now that we are destroying all the old cars because we are getting $4,500 cash for clunkers. It's a rare sight to see some clunkers actually. This is the Gold's Gym in Granite Falls. Yeah. Felicity City, California. The memorials for all the different era soldiers, and then this was a story on Granite Falls and the fish ladder and the hanging bridge that Mike Johns took you to. We had audio problems with the show and didn't realize it until it went on the air. Ebony, getting ready to go to Bodie. Yeah. We couldn't take you there the year before, but Mike Johns actually went there and brought back footage so we could revise that. The gentleman that fell out of the sky on the highway and told us the story of Bodie and Boomtown on Highway 395. Now this is where we didn't want to drive up to, it was too dangerous. But Mike Johns did, and that here is Bodie, the ghost town. 8,000 feet in the mountains. That was a dangerous drive. This came from my social side. Let's see, tagged Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace, and one of the artists from Nashville sent this beautiful insert, and we was able to share that with you. First time ever that there was a person on there doing sign language, and so we were so grateful. So the people from the social sites have actually sent things for us. This is Shank's Mini Golf in West Olympia. Yeah, we managed to create a really nice community of social websites and where we interchange and share things. And sharing is always good, especially now that they find millions of dollars for downloading a song. It's so much nicer to make it available to everybody. You still at Shank's. And it rains a lot, so that's one way to pass the time. He's the owner. And you can do the whole thing in 3D. This is the new cat. Her name is Baby Girl. She was a rescue from the desert in Nevada. My granddaughter had her and then gave her to me because we lost Miss E.T. This is a new singer from Society's Child. Her name is Terry. And you'll recognize Art in the back there. He is still with the group. And then this is a powwow in Shelton early in the year. Michelle Moore, my daughter, and I, we tackled the race issue in Olympia from the time she was born until now, because race has become such an issue in this country, and we thought we would share some thought with you there. This was the original garden show with Jackson in Nevada behind us there, and so because we had lost half of the new show, we used some of that and kind of put them together, and it came out really, really good. These are the remote viewing shows. The late Gabriel Pettengale explained how the government got involved with their program. And was very informative. These are people attending the remote viewing conference with with IRVA in Austin, Texas. Ingo Swan's books that are out of print, Penetration, and Ingo Swan is probably the most famous psychic living at the moment. There's some crop circle researchers and that was in Austin, Texas. It's an upcoming shot with Ingo. Real quick here somewhere. I don't know where it is exactly, but he is not out in public very often. So there he was. So we were very lucky to have been able to spend time with him. These are the original government remote viewers. That's Ingo, picture Ingo there. I'm in the studio and showing people how to bend spoons and forks and things like that. JFK, one of the remote viewers from Michigan. Look, I had hair. Can you believe it? Lynn Buchanan, also a remote viewer. There are links to all these people on my website, highstrangeness.tv. Dr. Graf, he was the director of the Stargate program. And there was actually a project, Stargate. And this man's name was Nick. He was a healer. I don't remember where he came from. Flat Stanley, traveling all over. And there was actually a Flat Stanley on that airplane that landed in the Hudson River. White Buffalo with Laurie Johnson. I believe this show is also available on MySpace. This is outside of Sedona. Grand Canyon. That's also the Grand Canyon. From Laurie Johnson's angle. That's inside of the canyon. There's a tunnel and the only light coming in is through this window there. And there she's talking about her visit to the petrified forest, Donna Siebel. Talking about prosperity and how to achieve it. Good advice in this day and age when nobody has any money. 2009 was very hard on everybody financially. So just to remind you, in case you forgot, I doubt that you forgot, but never know. Kanashibushan, we talking about making changes and how it is much better to have choices in the changes that you make rather than have the choice taken away from you and then have to sort out disastrous consequences. That sure is nice music by Mr. Brame. Predictions 2009. Boy, were we accurate again. 8 and 9 predictions is on my MySpace for you to go over it and see how accurate we were, if you so choose. And yeah, we're talking about different hair, grades of hair, and what the purpose is for straight hair and curly hair, and that was really kind of interesting. don't remember the name of the show. But we had fun anyway. Kwanzaa. Each year we have a Kwanzaa show. So 2009 was no difference. We explained what Kwanzaa means and how to celebrate it, Matisse. Talking about spirituality and how we can achieve it. That was very educational also. Like her headgear. That's beautiful. You wanted to see the Zugspitze again, so we did give it to you again from a different angle here. Claudia, my niece, went there and took you on top of these mountains overlooking Germany, Austria, Italy, and Switzerland. Highest mountain in Europe. The glaciers are melting. Jeff Jarrett, one of our local politicians, he traveled the world and came back and shared his findings. He thought if he met with people of other places, he could serve us better as a politician. And kind of agree, actually. He went to Siberia, and we discovered Siberia in the summer looks a lot like Washington State. Yeah. Donna Harris, animal psychic. Talking about Buford the cat and Wyatt. Wyatt is no longer with us. He died last year too. UFO Reporting Center, the original people that minded the hotline when it was located in Seattle, Washington. It has now been moved outside of Hanford. And this is Peter Davenport, still the director of the UFO hotline. That's who you call if you see something. And he is truly sleepless in Seattle. He wants pictures and observations, and that's what we talked about, how to report a UFO. And these were tapes from the air controllers. When airplanes see UFOs and call them in, we'll let you listen to the conversations between international airplanes. Dr. Jordan's famous UFO, the picture, of course, I always show it to you each year. Those pictures are also on my social sites. Brenda Roberts, she hosts Journey in Seattle, a show similar to what we have here. Peter Davenport. Actually, Brenda Roberts has done this longer than I have. I only have 675 shows. And this is in Laughlin, Nevada. One of the conferences, the Earth Mystery Conference, where we had a booth and shared what we had. Everybody wanted a globe. A cryptozoologist, Lauren Coleman. Boy, that was a big word, but I did okay, huh? And this lady was selling some gel that makes your back quit hurting. And this is an author that talked about his book. Three books. I did not read them, so I don't know what to tell you about that. Yeah, that this is in Roslyn, Washington, Kanashibushan's town. This is her front yard with all her critters. And this is a lock that one of her uncles brought out of slavery. And we shared this with you before, but we wanted to show it to you again. When we took the key out, it actually had cotton in there. This is a lock that they put on the chains when they chained the slaves together and marched them in places. Pretty powerful object we have there. Yeah. Pretty intense. So we showed it to you again. This is at her home in Roslyn, Washington. Caitlin, we're filming in the RV on the trip Najoni that we re-aired for you. Sean Yunker, one of the cameramen that went with me. Crackerville, Montana. We was talking to a dispatcher about the behavior of four-wheelers, he called it, the little cars that cut off trucks and then trying to blame everything on the trucks. Montana. This is a Cheyenne woman named Rose. She was telling us spirit stories. And this is a really snazzy restaurant where people bring things and they nail it to the ceiling. That's why we went there. A block of fried onions. It was Sean's birthday, so that's what he wanted. And people bring things that they don't want anymore and they just nail it to the ceiling. And I think the name of the town is Deerbush. Something close to that. And then this is part of Wall Drugstore. Now the chapel and the drugstore, my God, is city blocks long. Everything under the sun you can buy there. So it took us a whole day to film everything there for you. That's still part of the display on Wall's Drugs. These are all carved objects and they look so lifelike. It's like you just walk into that time period. If you get a chance to go there, that would, on your summer vacation, it would be great. This is Missouri here, in the Ozarks. We got dirty on the Cheyenne Reservation. Real dirty. You see the mud? All of this, it got stuck in the mud. The Cheyenne Reservation. And here is Sean and Caitlin playtime. We were stuck in the RV for, 5 weeks? So they needed to run a little bit. A lot of things in 2009 that we shared with you, and we hope you enjoyed it, you know. And this is Not So Happy, Pierce, Missouri. Pierce City, Missouri, after a tornado. It was pretty intense. Some of the buildings were still collapsing as we were there filming. Pretty devastating. We had 14 tornadoes that year. What I mean by had, on our trip we encountered 14 tornadoes, and this was one that we had a lot of footage from. This was right after a tornado, 15 miles up the highway from there, and it just went on like that. Everywhere we went, there were tornadoes. The year was 2003. Roby, Texas. I was stuck there in the storm for 2 days. I was stuck in this contraption and I was so scared because I kept bouncing off the side walls and didn't know what to do. There I'm telling how scared I was. Huh. Yeah. These are some shots from Bernie. He liked using balls and globes to make backgrounds. It's a guy named Paul from Roswell, New Mexico, talking about the network that the natives had, the networking. This is also displayed in Roswell, New Mexico. And they did a wonderful job on it's ultra-fluorescent. It's sort of like what I showed you earlier from stacks, but this moves more than stacks, and you walk in there and you think you're in outer space actually. And then this is Walmart in Roswell, New Mexico at night. We filmed it at night, and only people there was aliens, you see. So many cars there in the daytime, you can't really see those windows so good, so we chose to do this at night for you. Baboons at a refuge in Magdalena, New Mexico. Way up in the mountains. We spent the night there, so we were actually there about 2 days and got to spend time with the animals. So we showed you that. And this is Robert. And this is Robert. And they're talking about the going-ons in New Mexico that we hear about, nobody wants to talk about. This was one of my proud moments to take you there and show you the 6 miles of these giant antennas that's picking up sounds from outer space. Yeah. As far as you can see, these enormous things sitting in the desert there, listening. They are huge. Yeah, was proud to be able to show you that. And then this is a volcano in New Mexico. It was disturbed a little bit. Nothing happened, but we broke down. So we had to be towed out of the desert. We didn't know where we were, so thanks to the phone and GPS, after 2 hours they found us in a lava bed and took us to Socorro. It was hot. Nothing worked. It was hot. And there we go. The Socorro. This is Arizona. No, that's not true. This is Utah. We're already in Utah. At the hole in the rock. These are the salt flats in Idaho. No, Utah, on off of Highway 84. And this is the, I can say that word, Thiokil rocket site. This is a booster that actually has been in space many times, taken the space shuttle up there, and it was retired, and there it sits, and it is enormous. It's just enormous. It's on Highway 83 off of highway Interstate 84, so you really have to watch for it, else you miss it. We accidentally found that, and shared that with you. Actually, we took it there a couple of times over the years. Yeah. These are just bits and bleeps of what we did in 2009. There was just so much. Yeah. It was an eventful year. All these missiles, they have to paint them to keep them from, that's that word I can't say, Theokyo. And this is Mount Hood on Stonehenge. This is filmed from Stonehenge. It's always windy at Stonehenge, so that's the kind of footage you get from there. We've taken you there many times, so one more time. On Highway 14. Eastern Washington. Stonehenge is overlooking, quick tour here, overlooking the Columbia River. It's a war memorial. And we stop there every year. It's a replica. Yes, Claudia, our international reporter. From what I understand, they still have solstice and equinox there where people gather. Of course, when I'm there, nothing's going on, but it's quite an experience if you get a chance to stop there. Been there in every season except snow. And I was going to use that for an opening shot. Then I kind of changed my mind, but it was pretty, so there you have it. Stonehenge in 2009. What you see up there is a ceiling fan. Things moving around is a ceiling fan. These are the tunnels of Washington State on Highway 14. Then Columbia River would be to the left. The Lonely Boat on the Columbia River. There's another one. What a mighty river. And here I was stuck. I filmed an insert and I gained a little weight. And I didn't know what to do. They actually had to get me out of there. A little in distress, but the camera was rolling, so what do you do? The show must go on. And every year you see some food. Here you have catfish, greens. This is in Victorville, California. Had to show you some food. They throw peanut shells on the floor. And then they use that money to help, you know, soldiers and families in need. And this clip here, actually, this is where we mix things. So you go in a different direction. You are physically still at the restaurant, but we worked in everything else to give you a real quick reminder of where we've been. Yeah. Rain, snow, wind, flood. Yeah, we had it all again. But I think that's what makes the whole thing fun. You never know what you're gonna end up with. That's a pork chop. That's a pork chop and a biscuit. It is so delicious. Yeah. And a palm tree in Victorville. Now you're back in Oregon. I had strange hair all throughout the year 2009. Dennis Kucinich was the recipient of the Human of the Year Award for the second time because he earned it. So how was that for an insight? I thought it was really elaborate. I had one sponsor. I actually had two sponsors all year. One, as always, is Digital Cognizance in Grand Junction, Colorado, and they're going to bring us some things for next year. Our intent is to give you a little mini-series there. And the other one was a national chimney and roofing, and they kind of gave us a hand with tapes and things like that. So thank you very much. I have a little surprise for you, actually. Over the last few weeks, I was telling you that I was done, and we're going off the air, and I'm done. That's part of it is too. But we worked out a thing with the station where all they have to do is move me to a different day and a different time. And then we can start all over with all 600 and some shows and show them to you. And so I would like for you to check the, as of January the 1st, check the programming, and as soon as I know at what point. No, I can't do it like that because I'm not filming anymore, but as soon as we find out on what day we will air, the Friday morning at 11 still stands, and so that has not changed. But hey, I'll put it online. I'll put it on my MySpace, and I'll put it online and tell you when to watch it. So even though we're not really going to go out and film a lot of things for you, we will re-air most of the shows. And if for some reason I have if I have a miracle and my condition gets better, well then Mike, and we always have Mike, he'll go out and do some new ones, but the majority of them will be what do you call it, in-course. Is that what you call it? In-course, yeah. So I saved the best for last, so I thought I would wait till the end of the year to tell you that. And just give yourself a hand for sticking with me another year, and look online. A lot of the shows will be there. Phone numbers are online, and call the station, and you can still call me. And so I guess all I have to tell you now is don't drink and drive. However, on the Nisqually Reservation you will see a sign and it says don't drug and drive. And so we're hoping that you heed that warning. And don't drink and drug and drive, the 3 Ds, okay? So a Happy New Year, and 2010 is going to be great. Well, that's exaggerated. It'll be at least as good as 2009 was, and things will get a little easier for you. So I guess we're going to send you love and life, and say Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. Okay?
Miss Lillian, we'd like to thank you for all the fun you took us here. Take us down, and it's just because you really care where our journey goes. All all the fun. Take us here, and you take us there, and it is just